Hello there, welcome to another episode of the Allotment Dram. This is a series of short videos where we sit and talk about different whiskies in the surroundings of our North London allotment. You join me here today on what's been a lovely mid-October afternoon. Quite warm actually, certainly with the amount of work I've been doing, perfectly fine to be in a t-shirt still. Sun's starting to go down a bit, so it's just starting to get a little bit chilly, but otherwise lovely. Got on with a lot of work, mostly physical work today actually. It's the annual manure delivery, so everyone seems to get very excited about that. So yeah, I've been pushing barrow loads of horse manure up a hill for the last sort of 3 or 4 hours. So yeah, I'm pretty tired now, I'm pretty thirsty. So while that is all very interesting, I am here to talk about whiskey and to taste some whiskey, of course. But what is the Allotment Dram today, I hear you ask? Well, it's a new whiskey from a new distillery, which, the combination of those two things are always very exciting. So what we have today is from Wales actually, and it's the Aber Falls 2021 bottling. So this is only the second ever single malt whiskey release from the Aber Falls distillery. This is right up in North Wales, actually the first distillery, whiskey distillery in North Wales for over 100 years, when it was founded in 2017. Obviously had Penderyn right down in the south, on the edge of the Brecon Beacons there. Was founded in the year 2000, but in North Wales this was the first one, named after the Aber Falls waterfall, which is located near. It's in a town, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. It's one of those Welsh names that looks like the cat has kind of walked across the keyboard, and no one's really sure unless you live there how to pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. But if you look on the map, it's right up in that sort of northwestern tip, right near Anglesey. So they only use Welsh barley. They use the water that mineral-rich water, which bubbles up and then comes over the Aber Falls waterfall. They've got one of a very good master blender, sort of looking after the liquid there, Dr. Kirsty McCallum. He's well known within the industry and highly regarded. So yeah, the inaugural release came out earlier this year, 3 or 4 months ago, sold out pretty rapidly. But this is actually the first, as I say, the second actual single malt release, but the first core product. So this will always be available. They'll follow the same recipe. It's bottled at 40%. And it's actually a combination of 4 different cask types, which have all matured for sort of 3.5 years, and then they've been married together by Dr. Kirsty McCallum. So this is a bourbon cask, Oloroso sherry, Pedro Jimenez sherry, and virgin oak. So you've got lots of different things going on with those four casks there. But I think the key thing really is that it's actually only £26 a bottle. I mean, if you think a lot of these new distilleries are charging an arm and a leg, in some cases £100–150 for some of their first liquids, and nothing wrong with that. Everyone is entitled to do what they want, but you have to be applauded for putting out and getting people tasting this. For £26, seems almost too cheap, to be honest, but certainly not going to complain. But I think it's time that we have a taste. So we've got our glass here. We'll get the bottle open. Look at that, very nice golden yellow colour there. Very aromatic. Just sort of, as soon as I opened the bottle, I was getting like a whiff of this. So let's have a smell and a taste. Smell first, guys. It's lovely and fresh, so vibrant actually. It's like fresh green apple. There's some sweetness, like a vanilla, honey sort of sweetness. There's a bit of sort of fruit under there. It's almost like a hint of really juicy, overripe tropical fruit. bit of sultana as well. A bit of like fresh orange zest. Very, very enticing. Let's have a taste. Vibrancy carries right on. Yeah, really crisp, slightly tart green apple, and a little bit peppery, a little bit hot. I mean, you do tend to get that with young whiskies. You know, this is only 3.5 years maximum, so you do tend to get that sort of fresh green fruit and a bit of hot, spicy pepperiness. But here you've got the particularly those, there's a bit of honey and vanilla coming from the bourbon cask and the virgin oak, but I think really what's helping it here is these two types of sherry casks, so the Oloroso and the Pedro Jimenez sherry, which just giving a bit of richness, taking maybe a bit of that sort of slightly hotter edge off, you know, particularly as it develops in your mouth. Got some lovely dried fruits there, that sultana again, a bit of candied orange, maybe a bit of candied lemon as well, some raisin just in the background there, a little bit chocolatey as well, getting a little bit of milk chocolate in there. But let's have another taste. It's really juicy, fresh, quite delightful actually. I mean, to say for £26 it's really surprisingly good. And you know, as I say, hats off to them for putting a core whiskey out, one, and two, putting a core whiskey out at that sort of price, £26 a bottle. So yeah, pretty delicious actually. Yeah, pretty pleased to have grabbed a bottle of that. And yeah, it's a lovely sort of sweetness sort of coming through, a little bit of spice, almost like baking spices now, so quite late, maybe a bit of ginger, like not fresh ginger but like a sort of confected ginger, like maybe ginger cake or ginger bread, something like that. But yeah, it's just this juicy freshness mixed with these dried fruits and this sort of peppery spice. It's very, very pleasant indeed. So I think that's probably about it. Urge you to like go and try it. And yeah, so from myself and the Aber Falls 2021 bottling, and by all accounts they're going to do an annual bottling sort of within this range, so there'll be another one out next year, and so on and so on. But from myself and the Aber Falls 2021 bottling, we will bid you farewell. We'll get on with one or two other jobs before we head home, and thanks for watching. We'll see you again very soon. Cheers.